And he is currently the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Canelo Alvarez. What's going on, old man? Thanks for tuning in once again. Jay's channel. If you're new, man, hit the red button. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your time. Always appreciate your time. Let's talk Canelo, right? I want to talk about Canelo. I also want to talk about a little bit about AJ and what's going on with that situation. But mainly, man, I want to get into the Canelo scenario. So basically, Canelo's in a two-fight deal with the Zone. Turned down the PBC to fight Charlo, and he's going ahead with an even bigger fight, in my opinion, Dimitry Bivol. Now, before I get into this, grab a drink, grab a coffee, man, relax. I'm going to be talking for a bit. I've got a drink myself, cheers. Sit back, enjoy the video. It's good. So, Canelo versus Bivol, or you could say Rocky versus Drago, because that's what it feels like to me. I mean, Dimitry Bivol is Russian, and hey, I've got no hate, towards Russian people. It's just a shame what's going on, and I believe a lot of countries aren't allowing Russia to compete, and I understand why. There's a lot of chaos going on in the Ukraine. And everyone knows that Canelo is the people's champion. He is the face of boxing. And that's how it feels to me, Rocky versus Drago. The people's champion against a big threat. This is not an easy fight for Canelo at all. This is probably his hardest fight, I would say. Bivol is a guy that's had a big amateur career. He's won more than 260 amateur fights. He's had 10 title defenses. He's been an active fighter. He's no joke. He's not a joke. Now, Bivol is, Canelo does have the edge, as in he's got a higher knockout percentage than Bivol, but that's all it really is. Bivol's the bigger man. He's got more height. I believe he's about 6 foot. Canelo's 5'6", 5'7", somewhere around there. He's obviously got the weight. Canelo's transitioning from super middleweight to light heavyweight. And, this is a big task for Canelo. Understand that Bivol hasn't hit the canvas yet that I've seen. Understand that Bivol's stepped into the ring with a guy that's had 80% knockout ratio and was unable to put him down. You know what I mean? So, Canelo is sitting at 70%, I believe, 69 or 68, somewhere in that range. Bivol's a guy that is very technical sound. He's a very crafty boxer. Like I said, he's had a huge amateur career. He's been an active fighter. He's had 10 title defenses. This is no joke, this is a real fight here. This is a real hard fight for Canelo. He's been tested, Bivol. He hasn't been put down. Like I said, the guy that fought him was unable to drop him. I forgot his name now. I think it was... what's the guy's name? It'll come to me eventually. But yeah, it was a guy anyway that he had 80% knockout ratio. And he was unable to drop him. And Canelo, he's a guy that picks his shots well. He's a guy that he waits for the time to throw those big hits. But he's challenging a guy that's very technical boxer, that's very fast as well. He's no joke at all. Like now when we're talking about pound for pound, Canelo is a guy that is, ranked number one by many. And I believe if he beats Dimitry Bivol, by far he will be number one pound for pound for sure. This is a WBA light heavyweight champion. And like I said, he's no joke. He's used to going the distance. Remember Canelo's been going the distance with many fighters. But what he's been doing recently is knocking them down, finishing them off in the later rounds. Where Bivol is used to going to the later rounds against heavier guys. So I mean, it's going to be a very hard task for Canelo. A very hard task for him. I believe that the shot that Canelo will be trying to land on him will have to be the overhand right. He is the taller guy. But he's going to have to follow that up. I don't think that one shot will finish him off. But luckily enough, Canelo is a guy that has fast hands. Now, keep in mind, Canelo's a guy that moves forward too. Bivol is a guy that likes to come forward. When he lands, he likes to land combinations on you and things like that. So I believe it's going to be challenging for Bivol to land on Canelo coming forward. He is the taller guy. Most people now are making this mistake of going after the shorter guy by coming forward. You know what I mean? You don't need to come forward. And that might be the wrong move for Bivol here. I'm trying to engage with Canelo too much to the point where Canelo does land the overhand right, and he's got really fast hands, and you may knock him down. He's going to have to knock him down to win this fight, in my opinion. Now the fight is going to be in Vegas, I believe, and like I said, the People's Champion against Bivol, Dimitry Bivol. Now he is Russian, but he's, all to their own. Everyone's their own person. I hope that the crowd aren't too bad towards him. I know that the crowd, regardless, are going to go for Canelo. He's the face of boxing. But let's just get through this fight. Nothing too hectic, in the build up or anything like that. I believe that security is key for Bivol as well. But hey, man, things might be all right by then. Hopefully, who knows what's going to go on with Ukraine and Russia. But like I said, he's his own person. I believe he's got nothing to do with what's going on, and that's that. This is a huge fight. Now, Triple G is also the second fight that Canelo is going to fight after the Bivol fight. So the Bivol fight will be May the 7th. Like I said, it's a hard fight for Canelo. Very hard fight. His hardest fight to date, in my opinion. And big props to him, for taking it on. I believe that the reason why he's taking it on is because he's trying to transition from light heavy to cruiser. I believe that he wants to fight Usyk. Now, Usyk is obviously in the Ukraine. Usyk is also another guy that's very, highly ranked in pound for pound. Many people think that he's number one, especially after beating Joshua, the way that he did. And I believe that Canelo wants to fight him. And Usyk said, hey, man, I'll fight him, no doubt. I'll fight him and then I'll go back to heavyweight. He's very hungry of being an undisputed heavyweight champion, Usyk is, but he also wants to challenge everybody. Any challenge out there, he's willing to fight for that. Now, I don't know how long he's going to be in the Ukraine for. I know there's a lot of things going on. But, I believe that's why Canelo wants to transition to light heavyweight and, challenge big guys and skillful guys, because Usyk is very skilled as well. And I think that this is the only way that he can prepare for Usyk, in my opinion. That's my take on it anyway. Usyk and Canelo are number 1 and 2 in my opinion. Crawford, I don't know what's going on with his career at the moment. I know that he's suing Bob Arum and things like that. I don't know if he's going to fight Spence or what the deal is. But, as in pound for pound wise, it has to be Canelo and Usyk, surely. You look at Joshua, Anthony Joshua, a very marketable guy, He's, on top of the list. Him and Canelo will be on top of the list for prize fight. for being the cash cows of the division, or in Canelo's cash cow of boxing. If Canelo fights whoever he wants to fight, they're going to make a whole lot of money, and I believe that may be the reason why the Makibu fight never worked. Because he is managed by no other than Don King. The most greediest guy in boxing, from what I've seen. And I believe that maybe he was trying to negotiate with the wrong guy. I'm not sure what happened with that fight. All I know is that Canelo gets to choose his fighters, and he's choosing an elite fighter right here. Undefeated, 10 title defenses, 260 wins, 60 plus wins, I should say, amateur career. Bigger guy, taller guy, more reach. Very active fighter. These are all signs of Canelo stepping up to the plate. This is him showing the world that he's ready for the big fights. Triple G's next on the list. You know what I mean? Triple G's a guy that many people have been avoiding. Now, Triple G, I don't think will beat Canelo. I think that Bivol has a better chance of beating Canelo than Triple G. Triple G, I believe, is 39 now or something like that, And I think that Canelo's, just getting stronger as his career goes on. Been putting down skillful guys. Not as skillful as Bivol, though. I mean, this is going to be the big test, This is going to be the big thing for boxing right here, man, is to see how good Canelo really is. You know what I mean? This is going to be it. If he beats Bivol, he's number one, in my opinion, pound for pound in the world boxing right now. Now, Joshua, I wanted to talk about that as well. Joshua, there's a few guys that have been calling him out now. Joe Joyce has been, going back and forth with him for against the fight, or I should say, wanting to fight him. Sorry, my apologies. So they're going back and forth saying, let's fight. Obviously, Joshua's been saying I've really beaten you in round one and things like that. So there's a lot of talk on the media of Joyce and Joshua. Another guy that's also spoken up is Daniel Dubois. The guy that Joyce beat. Both of these guys are managed from Frank Warren, I believe. Or Frank Warren has, business with them, doing business with them. I know that he definitely is with Dubois. But nothing's been signed yet, We got the Tyson Fury fight coming up in April, which is next month. And I believe that if those fights don't get made, or if any fight does, if a fight doesn't get made with AJ, I believe that AJ will definitely fight Fury, without a doubt. I know that Frank Warren will be talking to him now. This could be, just something to distract the public, to keep AJ away from signing a fight. But I reckon if AJ doesn't sign a fight soon, because I believe Usyk did have a 48-hour window to make up his mind. Obviously, he's going to stay in the Ukraine without a doubt. It's quite hectic down there at the moment. I don't see anything calming down too much down there. And I think that Usyk will let Joshua fight. He can't hold up his career. It's just an unfortunate thing, what's going on. And I believe that Joshua, if he doesn't fight anybody, or doesn't sign any fight before the Fury fight, I believe that Fury will fight Joshua next. Winner challenges Usyk. That's the way that I see it. That's just what I think that will happen. I think that I don't think that Deontay Wilder wants to fight him, or is choosing not to fight him. I'm not sure if he's made up his mind about, if he wants to return to boxing. He obviously hasn't been making much noise, as much as Joyce and Dubois. So it's looking likely that it's either Dubois or Joyce that's going to fight him. I believe that Joyce would probably be the better pick, because Joyce is mandatory against Usyk, and it's always good to get the mandatories out of the way. Let's just say AJ beats Joyce. That's one person needs to worry about if he challenges Usyk in the future, or challenges Fury, whatever. That eliminates one of the mandatory opponents, you know what I mean? Making that undisputed fight closer. So I think that he will fight a mandatory fighter. I don't think it will be anybody else but Joyce, because Joyce, he is, like I said, UK based, and it'll be an easy fight to make. But if it's not Joyce, I believe he's going to fight Fury. For sure. I think that he'll fight Fury. If nothing gets signed, there's only a month to go. I haven't heard anything from Usyk yet, but I understand, I've seen a few sources saying that he had 48 hours to make a decision of what he wants to do. I believe the 48 hours ends tomorrow. So, if we don't hear anything tomorrow, I believe that Joshua will, look for his options and start possibly negotiating with other fighters, or maybe he may just wait ringside for the Fury versus White fight, and if Fury wins, he may just call out White and, announce the fight like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all. That's the fight that Fury wants. That's the fight that Joshua wants. That's the easiest fight to make. That's the biggest fight to make, besides the Wilder fight. But like I said, Wilder's not really saying much. So, it's very likely that if nothing gets signed, Joshua will fight Fury. Now, Wallin has also put his name up. Wallin, I believe, deserves a shot at Fury myself. I think that Fury should actually challenge Wallin next. I know that the public wouldn't agree with me, but I believe that Wallin beat him. I believe that Wallin definitely got robbed. But, hey, that's boxing. It's all about the money sometimes. Sometimes they give the other guy the decision because they're looking at the future. You saw what happened with Josh Taylor and Catterall. It was a similar situation. But, yeah, man, the Bivol fight is looking great. Another fight that's getting made, is Mangia against Charlo. I'll talk about that another day, but this is all about the cash cows of boxing, which is Canelo and Joshua. Both of those guys are the, number one as in making money-wise, where the world turns to. Like I said, this is going to be like all the closest that we'll see of a Rocky versus Drago. I know it sounds cliche, but, that's how I see it. Let me know your take, man. I think that it's a very hard fight for Canelo. I think that Bivol has a very good chance of winning. And big props to Canelo. I'm looking forward to that fight, man. I'm definitely going to watch. Let me know your take. Let me know what you think of that fight, man. Let me know what you think of the Joshua scenario, or just let me know in general, man. Leave a comment. Thanks for the support so far, man. Thanks for tuning in as usual, man. As I said, I'm going over the 12-minute mark. I'm at the 18-minute mark at the moment. If you listened in, man, salute to you, cheers to you, man. Finish this off. Cheers to you, man. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new, hit the red button, man. But that's all I got to say, man. Take care. Stay safe. God bless. Peace.